Hi, Graziella!
Mother! Morrie! Hello! Tu dis bonjour! Moi aussi! Regina! Regina! Tu peux parler, Victor.
C'est mon plaisir de vous voir, Graziella. Merci bien à vous tous. Tu vas faire.
Rien du tout.
How are you? You haven't changed. Uncle Vic, is Myrna coming now?
She was here a minute ago.
Thank you.
She was down here.
That's a really nice thing.
Good evening. Erev Tov.
This idea in the first place.
In Hebrew and in English, so everybody can. Maish Subotnik, Laisha de Sarina, Yosef Antebi, el marido. This is Elad, their grandson. Rachel Ashkenazi, Sarina, Chilebon, Salvo, husband. This is Rachel Mitnik, Myrna's daughter, who is the daughter of Vic Barkey, and the husband of Rivka, Laisha de Tanjaya. Shlomo Maish and Naomi, his wife, the son of Sarina. Sarina, on the name of Sarina, the daughter of, where's Uncle Morrie? Where's Uncle Morrie? Okay, he'll be right back. Sarina and Ilana Barkey, the children of Morrie Barkey and Florrie, who is not here, unfortunately. That cute little girl.
That beautiful little girl.
Actually, Karen. Marcelle, Laisha de Regina. Victor. Amit. Ben החמוד שלי.
Sultana.
Victor. El marido de Regina. Mi padre. Morrie Capeluto. The only Capeluto. Jewel Capeluto by marriage. My husband Ophel Weiss. Itai.
He writes everything you say.
He's keeping minutes.
Jordan, Inieto de Morris. Jordan Assouline, Yael Cohen, the daughter of Wendy, Inieta de Morris E. Jewel, Morrie Assouline, brother of Jordan, children of Linda. The music, Musica Shenifnasti, the Linda Shara. The music that you heard when you came in is Linda. Yes, it's Linda's singing. Yeah. Shel, Zichronah Livracha, and Merle, and Dick, the husband of Michelle. Okay.
And?
Jack.
You're Jack.
Graziella Franco. Ready?
Okay. That's the wife of Victor, Claire Barkey, my wife, and Rachel Barkey, Erdrich's mother, and we just can't help but think of them and wish they were here, and in blessed memory we're thinking about them, and in reality they're here right now.
Claire, and Uncle Ralph and Aunt Ray. So we're here because of that.
Right. Explain it. הוא אומר שבלי אנשים כמו דודה רפאל וקלר שעבדו קשה, וההורים שלכם שעבדו קשה, אף אחד מאיתנו לא היה פה היום. ובאמת זה נכון, זה הגורל, זה המזל, צריך לברך. This month that the Barkey family left the island of Rhodes, the other families left at a little, in other months but around the same time. So this comes out exactly 60 years later. And I think this is Morrie Barkey. All of us, whether we have been to Rhodes before or not been to Rhodes before, grew up on the legacy that was left. Kulanu, Gam Adursal, which was sent to us by Regina Franco from Belgium. And she sent the chocolates. She wants to be here in spirit with us. So, good evening, and we have a good time, everyone.
Stop some time and just regroup.
Okay, yeah, why don't you, we'll stop up there.
We gotta regroup
Where's Morrie and Vic?
in the back.
Okay, let's push them up.
Myrna, we're gonna regroup on the other side of this gate, on the right.
Sponges there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know how they fish it now, but before you used to see a lot of people without limbs. Limbs. They used to go into the water. You know, it's good
Without
to
the
have the sponges. Sponges with live, they are not very, they are dangerous somehow.
Really?
And you see a lot of people without legs, you know,
Wow.
they're caught, but, you know, worse than corals.
This is the moat.
Cats, right there.
Go ahead, now go. Walk, walk, walk.
Which had still, they were underwater. And Papa used to go there and smoke the
play backgammon.
Backgammon, 2.5 hours every time.
What was he smoking?
Nargile.
Water pipe, the water pipe.
Hookah or nargile. It's a long way with it. It's a water pipe.
What did they put in the water pipe?
was he, but what?
Papa, my father used to go in there to help somebody, Panayoti, here at stores.
They never had high blood pressure problems.
Okay.
We met Panayoti in 1971.
I'll show you what Vic used to work. You know, I'll tell you a story about that.
Keep in mind the people.
Maybe we wait for Vic.
Yeah, that's right.
Send him, whenever you get women, send him and see what time it was for 6 o'clock.
Attendez un peu, let me see. More, you remember the pharmacy?
Yeah, and here they used to have a place where they sold Oriental rugs, right here. And here's what Joe said.
And the pharmacy.
A candy shop.
Yeah, right.
It's like Patek Philippe, you've heard, you know, so, and Vacheron and Constantin. They were good Swiss makes. One time I found a couple of gold coins in the wastebasket. I said, boss, here's, for us, find something that didn't belong to us. It was a no-no, it was a no-no. So I found 2 gold coins in the wastebasket and I gave it to him. Anyway, but he liked women. Every time there was a good-looking woman tourist, he would send me on an errand.
I'm just telling you. What was that thing? No, I'm just telling him. Tell him go and see what time it is by the certain watch. And take your time.
What is this now? You work here?
Aquí lavoré yo. Y el patrón, cuando le placía una mujer, me mandaba por un mandadico. Un mandadico largo.
Sí, te decía, Víctor.
Tenemos acá, te mandaba.
Tenemos aquí. No, tú no.
Sí, tenemos acá.
Ora move back here. Até eles carregaram a livre minha. Por eles ficarem mais.
Come on, Edward, what?
Just to look, he
Another work here. So I will take the boat and put it here in the water.
He used to get his violin lessons.
Oh, then listen, at first.
His first violin lesson.
That building there. Same building, during the summer they had seminars, and you could see the Italian university students with beautiful hats, followed with charms, but they were kind of oblong hats. Each university had their own symbol and motif. So in the summer you see that colorful event there. Anyway.
Okay, there was a dentist there. My father was a friend of my father, and he used to send me there.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're now watching Morrie TV. We're here on the Piazza del Porco, as they call it in Italian, named for the big fire that was once here. And in Ladino, I believe it was the Plaza del Camino, or something like that. You know, Victor Barkey just said the name, and I forgot. Here we have Rahel Mitnick from Baltimore taking a picture. Family standing around. And as soon as we get moving, we'll pick it up again.
It's beautiful inside. You can't go in there.
Leaving the Piazza del Porco. And I have no idea exactly where we're walking to.
We're just walking.
We're just walking. Ladies and gentlemen, Yael Cohen. Ladies and gentlemen, Yael Cohen. Afraid of pigeons.
Did you get that on tape?
Regina Capeluto, wife of my grandfather, my beloved grandmother.
Yeah, whose tape
Isn't she beautiful? There we go. And Jordan Assouline.
I'm having a great time here in Rhodes. Thank you very much to the Amira family and everybody, and Susan did a great job. It's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you to Cynthia too. Did a great job as well.
We're walking.
And there's Open Weiss, and we're both on video. Ladies and gentlemen.
They can walk. They can walk.
We're walking down the, Jack, where are we right now? What is it?
We're coming to the Kayancha.
We're coming to the Kayancha.
Pretty soon, yeah. And
There's Morrie Barkey talking.
I worked for a bicycle.
they used to take violin lessons here. Right here.
Violin lessons are taken right here.
What was in here? It's a library now.
It's a beautiful place inside. Furniture. And we used to go there because they used to utilize that as a conservatory.
I see.
Music conservatory. That's where we started our music.
We've got Anne Hasson,
Guiding them a little bit.
the one who put together the museum next to the synagogue. Regina Kadosh.
That was a chili bone shop.
Chili Bone
Maish.
shop.
It was at Katie
Now
and
this,
the other one's father.
Okay. And now it is a towel, looks like. A towel
And
shop.
behind you was
And
ice
behind-
cream shop. And there was also a bicycle repair shop.
Now the ice cream shop is not here. Okay.
No,
But it used to be.
it's
It was right here? It's right here. And we're again on the street approaching the Calle Ancha, which is now this
Going
way.
too fast, you're gonna make it dizzy.
Yeah, Cohen again. Oh my God, look at that. She's just all over
You're
the
gonna
place.
make it dizzy.
Here's the family in front of Chili Bone's shop. And I apologize before for going too fast if I was. I don't want to make anybody dizzy while watching this video. So now we will continue on to the Calle Ancha, and we'll try to catch anything on the way there. If not, we'll see you there. Now at the entrance to the Calle Ancha, and just wanted to get a shot of this house up here. It's a typical little house on the in the old city. I guess this used to be a good Italian restaurant now. And my grandma would like something from me, so hold on. We've now come out into the Calle Ancha. This is the big street that our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents used to talk about in meetings for whatever reasons, usually for social, I would assume. And I don't really have much to say about it. I mean, I wasn't from here, but anyway, we'll wait till they speak about it. Here we've got the famous fountain in the distance there that they used to speak about with the seahorses. And the rest of the street. Quite an exquisite place. Very beautiful trees, scenery. We are entering a little alleyway. Hey, it's Ilana Barkey, look at that. Hi. We are entering a little alleyway here in which possibly somebody lived. And the whole, let's see what we can get on video here.
The Tant Bukhara is still here.
Tant Bukhara is still here. Let's see. Graziella Franco.
Okay. Look at the stairs. Can you get the stairs inside the base of it?
Okay, hold it.
I think they...
I remember distinctly a professor. No, a guy married to a professor. It's a little funny. Excuse the expression, he used to party his way up. And he says, salute a me.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I remember a guy.
It's a nightmare.
I don't know these girls.
But you won't come out. It won't come out, Morrie.
It is coming out.
Number 18 is the house of...
The reason,
This is the house of...
My mother.
one of the reasons Rosa doesn't come
mother.
here, by the way, one of the reasons why Graziella's mother doesn't come here, they lost the house and this brings a lot of memories to her, and she breaks down, she said, so she doesn't come.
They took over. They took over everything, you know. Like, just imagine in the Zorba the Greek, where the prostitutes they're dying, and you have around it people, women in Greek black clothes waiting for her to die, and so they could take over the property. Did anybody see that? Zorba the Greek?
Yeah.
That's in my imagination what happened here. So anyway, you don't publicize too much because it affects tourism.
But I wonder if there's some...
you know, people come here and they're going to be
here's 17.
Wait,
Here's
you said that
17, so
they...
18. Oh, I see. Maybe they changed it. Morrie, Vic, Morrie. She's saying that...
Maybe later.
Okay.
The place. The horses.
Oh,
okay, let's go see. No, they want a place for
There's the beautiful garden outside Tom Tochora's house. Re-entering into the Calle Ancha. Big street.
I would say
we've heard so much about for so many years.
Vic, la casa di Celibon.
Come over here. Give your dad some water.
Again, we have the fountain. Get a closer look. There it is. And of course, we will see it closer up as we get over to that area. We are on our way to the Maisha's house, and it's on well, for those who read Greek, this street. To me, like Odo something, I don't know. And read it later.
This is the house of
No, that was the house of Chilibon. This is the Maish.
Chilibon. This is that one.
Oh, Chilibon. Yeah, Graziella's mother. So this is the Maish's house, Chilibon Maish, not
Espera. Por ahí se iba lo que querían.
This I don't believe is a house.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Graziella, take away the camera.
The Maish family.
Okay.
One more. Papa.
Regina, don't move. Some portion.
Chilibon, is that okay?
Sarina.
Street where Chilibon Maish's house is. And, oh, well, it looks like somebody just stepped in Kagar that possibly has been here since the time that they left the island, although I doubt it.
Maybe 100 years already, I don't know.
Jordan, what do you think? I don't know. Sarina, what do you think about the Kagar? Okay.
60 years. Very nice experience.
Small house, quite small.
Right there.
Okay.
Elad Antebi.
Can you imagine that this is where it's so weird? A relative.
Sarina, do you want to take a picture in that doorway?
You're right.
Or like in the hall? I think
The point to be mentioned is that Chilibon was married to Sarina Capeluto, who's the blood relation, and how the Maishas are related to her. There's Sarina Barkey, the namesake of Sarina Capeluto Maish. Oh, look at that! The street that she lives.
Oh, they're talking to somebody?
I don't know.
Oh.
Gail Cohen. Again.
Okay.
Get out of the
So
picture.
popular.
Yeah.
Come here. This lady is wondering what we're all doing here. Tell her what.
On Purim, we had a big celebration. I remember my dad gave me a fustanella, similar with the slippers, similar to the ones that guard the palace in Athens. Fustanella, I used to wear it every year.
Yeah. Because of Purim, like a costume?
Costume?
Yeah. You got that, I got the spanking, Rick. Yeah.
Anyway, there was a lot of carrozas, with horses, it was around this way.
Ahora vamos a estar aquí, vamos a tomar fotos todos juntos con esto.
ולהמשיך אחרי זה. בסדר?
Okay, let's take a family picture.
And here is the Amira Amira family.
Jordan's taking our
children
picture.
of Regina and husband.
It's Jordan. Jordan's taking our picture.
1, 2, 3.
You don't know how funny you look,
Yeah. And here we have it, the original Barkey family.
Regina, look at me. Look at me again. I can't believe it.
Brothers and sister.
Okay, now
And of course, I remember Claire on Salvo. And there was Ray there, Salomon. He could not be here.
Wait, one more.
Okay.
Papa, look there.
And we have the Rhodes one.
He's in Rhodes. How many of us? 7?
Okay. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. People this morning.
Here's the Flash family.
One more time.
The marido of Claire Barkey Flash, and Edward and Cynthia, whose camera this is.
Here they are.
Now, here are all the first cousins, including my grandfather, who was not there the first time.
Okay. Mr. Barkey.
They all seem to be getting
Okay, all right, everybody.
first cousins of the Capeluto family. Morrie Barkey and family. Missing, of course, is his wife, who's still in LA, and their other younger child. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the Kaya Ancha walking towards the water.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful day out. Oh, look who's here. Special guest.
Yeah, what's her name?
Ilana Barkey.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the daughter of Morrie Barkey.
Yeah.
Moshe. Of course, named after Papu Musani, just like I was actually.
Thank you.
Actually, I killed 2 birds with 1 stone because I'm actually named after 2 Morrises.
Ooh.
And, yeah, I got named after both Moshes. So.
Interesting. No, we don't want
To
to
the
see it.
right is
To
a
the right.
synagogue.
Is that where we're going now?
It's called the Kehillah Kadosh Shalom, the congregation, the Holy Congregation of Peace. Almost sounds like a church.
There you go.
You get a little shot here at the synagogue sign. We're on Dizyadu Street, or it's pronounced in other ways, Dizyadu Street.
There you go.
You seem to be very interested in the fruit.
Josh.
Can't see nothing.
Cucumbers were this big. Your parents made a point to bring you one back to show me.
You guys get the joke?
Yes.
This is a pepino, you know, like they pull out a cucumber, say, this is a cucumber. That's no cucumber. In Rosie's, we had cucumber zesty boy, you know, they were zesty boy. So we take out a lemon, you know, for tea or whatever, and it's a, that's not a lemon. And lemon, we had lemons in Rosie's that are zesty boy.
Who lives here?
Okay, do it from the right side, yeah. The brown door.
Yeah, we know.
Thank you.
Thank you very
You're
much.
from American?
Yes.
Αποτηρώ είμαστε φίλοι.
Έλληνες. Ελληνάκια. America.
Get this.
Έτσι από πέρα.
What's that?
We came in the other
Over here, this house inside was a Sokiali. So relatives, a little bit of relatives on my father's side. And they lived, they had two sons, both played in the football, soccer. They're very good players. They were also musicians, very good musicians. They ended up in the Congo. And then they were now in Rome. I think one of them has passed away, but the other one is still there. And then the old lady who lived in Tangier lived for a long, long time in Rome after the war. Anyway, we were related a little bit on my father's side. They were from Sofia, Turkey, but they lived here.
¿Quién moraba aquí?
Aquí es la sinagoga.
Don't watch the steps.
I see.
There's Miss
Salon? Aquí estamos nosotros, somos buchuki.
Aquí, hay esto que dice el aquí con los nombres. Si alguno viene a mirar, me puede comunicar.
Adentro.
Museo.
Al museo, sí.
Esto podemos, si me das la permisión. Si me das la permisión.
Y no pones tu nombre, pones tu nombre. Y pones tu nombre. You put your name down. You put your own name. Submitted by...
Entra, hermanos, vamos a decir mi hija.
Here we have Barkey and Antebi and Morrie Jordan, I believe, Morrie's brother. the main door to the synagogue. It's now closed and reconfigured. You enter through the rear.
Read it.
5648.
Aquí era Bet HaMidrash.
5648, what's that? How many years ago?
Show them the fountain first.
Yeah, hold on a second. Morrie. Almond tree, yeah. We used to steal almonds here.
My brother-in-law is the crook.
Yeah, that's us.
They had a guy here that was an insane guy, and they hit him on top of a box, and all day long he was I used to be scared of
She doesn't know where her husband lives. I know it.
Oh, is that
Go this way. Oh, I'll show you my house. See if it's there.
Oh, yeah, no, show the fountain first.
The fountain is
We
right
didn't
there.
have, water as much as we have this.
Y era con calderos de barro
Yeah.
que quedaba
Big
helado.
terracotta pot. Water, full of water.
Is this the fountain you were talking about with the used to get water?
No, it's not. It's not facing up.
Where the house.
Victor and Morrie, was this where you live?
No.
Where?
This is new.
Over here was where you live?
Yeah, right.
Over here. You see.
This was the original Barkey house. As you can see, Victor Barkey's walking up to see if he recognizes anything.
There was a piece of material like this, and with a long rope. It was on the corner of
There's
the
a
house
tree there.
where they
There's a
were.
loquat tree there.
Morris and Victor and Jack and Regina.
Morrie? Morrie?
As I said before, the house of the Barkey family. Great Jack, Morris, Regina.
Victor, where was the house? Stand back up a little bit. Regina?
And beyond that was a garden. I think I planted that tree that's over there.
The garden.
Regina, get over right over here with your house.
How many bedrooms?
One hole in the floor.
4 bathrooms.
One hole in the kitchen.
Okay, you guys, over here.
In front of it, and you took a bath.
I'll tell you how
Said
the
that there was a
bathroom was.
well
Okay, Morrie and Vic.
they used to refresh themselves.
Make sure you get the famous door.
Excuse me. Excuse me. You know the bathroom was? Excuse me. Hey, you people, you know what our bathroom was? A hole in the ground. You know,
Stood on
that's what
it,
you meant.
and ATS tank put the water, or pour the water.
And scrub you at the same time.
We came a long way, baby.
Quiet. Picture time.
דוד רפאל היקר. אין יותר להוסיף. כולם מוסרים לך דרישת שלום, כולל מאמה, פאפה והילדים, ודודה אסתר שלא כתבה, כי כל השבוע אנחנו מעבירים את עצמות יקירנו. ואנחנו ימים שלמים בבית הקרב לדודות להם. Dear Uncle Ralph, nothing else to add. Everyone sends you regards, including Mama, Papa, and the kids, and Aunt Esther, who has not written because this week we're exhuming the departed and are spending whole days in the cemetery. Regards to Aunt Jamila, Uncle Shlomo, kisses to Aunt Rachel and the kids. Hugs and kisses from your dear niece, wishing to see Clara. Dated January 11th, 1939. And הסיפור כזה. היה פה מושל מטעם מוסלמי, שמתמקם מאוד ביהודים בעיר, והוא הכריז שהוא בונה לעצמו טירה במקום גבוה, והוא צריך 100 מצבות לצורך הבנייה שלו. ואז הוא הכריז שמעבירים את הבית קברות ממקום רחוק יותר למקום הזה. אז זה לא המקום המקורי לקבורה. The story is like this. There was a governor sent by Mussolini to patrol the Dodecanese Islands. He decreed that he is building himself a castle, and he needs 100 gravestones for the construction of his castle, and ordered the Jews to move their original cemetery, which was farther into the city, which is now a park, dig up the graves and bring them here. אז עכשיו הביאו את כל העצמות, היה בלבול גדול מאוד. הביאו את המצבות, לא ידעו אם העצמות בדיוק למצבה הנכונה. יש מקום אחד שאני אראה לכם שזה בעצם איסור, כן, קבר אחים. קבר אחים, המצבות שמו פה במשך השנים, סידרו אותם בצורה מסודרת. קהילת אתונה אחראית על תחזוקה של בית קברות, ושולחים לכאן אחראים עכשיו רסטורציה ושומרים מאוד יפה על המצבות.
Can I add something that I witnessed the exhumation of the remains and put into sacks and then brought them over here.
Right.
Yeah, I saw a young man digging with some masks and some rubber gloves. It was plastic gloves.
This is what I wanted to add, that there was great confusion in bringing the bones over. They were supposed to bring over all the stones and bring over all the bones and just pray that everything would fall into the right place. And of course that didn't happen exactly. So in a place that I'll show you here, there is what's called a brother's grave, where bones that they didn't know the place were all put in a central area. But the stones are here. The cemetery is under the authority of the Jewish community of Athens. They're doing a good job. There's a restoration project of the cemetery. As you can see, these are the ancient graves. I'll explain about those in a minute. Down here are the newer graves of the last 2 centuries, and they're put in cement blocks. And so it's whatever was able to be preserved is set quite well, and they're quite visible. הבית קברות כולל דברים מהמאה ה-16. הסגנון של הכתיבה של שירה זה משהו מדהים. אתם הרווחתם כי אתם קוראים גם על הקישוטים, זה מאוד מעניין. מצאו את המצבות העתיקות בערימה וסידרו אותם למקומות. זה מאוד מעניין. Okay. From the 17th century, the text has been written in Ladino. So if you read Hebrew letters and know the Ladino language, you can understand. I'll explain as we get to the ancient graves what some of the symbols mean. There's some very beautiful things there. So this is the more modern things. We'll see the graves of our relatives here, and this is the old. And afterwards we'll go here, okay? So we'll start with the ancient. Those bones are here. Those, excuse me, the gravestones, I can't say for the bones. The gravestones are here and here in pieces.
That was from across the street, huh? Across the street from the old one.
הנוף ביותר היה עשוי או מגיר או מאבן צדפים. זה חומר מאוד רך והם חרטו אז ביד. האנשים היותר עשירים עשו תבליט, כי זה היה יותר קשה לעשות, והיותר עניים עשו תפריט, זה היה עבודה יותר קלה ויותר זולה. עכשיו, לגבי הסמלים שרואים פה, יש פה למשל את הרוזטה, שזה מסמל את השמש. עכשיו, זה מופיע באומנות האוטומנית לכל הדורות. יש גם את הכיווניים, זה מסמל גן עדן. אתם תראו יותר בצד שני סמלים של מספריים, ברוך הגוזר, של שער, של כניסה לגן עדן, מפתח, כניסה לגן עדן. אוטו של המאה האחרונה. אוטו זה נסיעה לעולם הבא, סירה מאותו סגנון. יש גם את הסמלים של, אם כתוב אשת חיל, הרבה פעמים יהיה יד. זה היה סימן של נשיות. עכשיו יד אבל שמצביע זה גם ברוך הגוזר, או יד שמחזיק מקל, ברוך הגוזר. כל דבר היה משמעות, ובדברים החדשים יותר זה מתייחס מאוד למקצועות של האנשים, זה מאוד יפה. עכשיו רואים את השקעים האלה, אם יש שניים בצורה כזאת, היו עושים שם פתיל ועושים נר. אבל יש מקומות שיש אחד עמוק יותר, זה דבר יפה מאוד. הם היו נותנים למי גשם להתאסף וציפורים, פשוט התחשבו בטבע. עכשיו אלה שרואים פה משיש, הביאו את השיש מהאי מרמרה, וזה בדרך כלל האנשים שהיו להם את האמצעים יותר, כן. שיש נשמע הרבה שנים. בצד שני תראי שניסו לחדש, לעשות את הכתב יותר ברור, אז מרקו על זה איזה משהו רק ארצי. ככה השאירו, וזה הדברים הישנים פה. אוקיי, in English?
Do you have to take both?
The material that was used for the making of the gravestones, the earliest gravestones was from chalk, and then a little bit later from a stone that has many seashells in it. You'll see it in this area of the world. It was a more expensive way, and the people that were less well off had more dug-in. Stones that you see here are of marble, and this was imported from the island of Marmara in Turkey. So this was during a time when the people here lived not bad. Now, as to the symbols that are on the gravestones, these are the rosettes which appear in Ottoman artwork all through the centuries. They think that the source of it was relating to the sun. You see it in Greek mythology, in Greek artwork as well. When you see the tulip flower, this represents paradise. The tulip represents paradise. Cypress trees, you don't see one right in front of me right now, but the long tree represents the way to paradise, yes. When we get farther to the newer side, you'll see things that are representing a boat or a car, the journey to the next world, a key leading you into heaven. All the things that are going to the next world. If there's a woman's gravestone, it will say a woman of valor. You can find one like that. And they will have a hand like this, which represents femininity. But a hand or a hand holding a staff represents, it's a saying in Hebrew, the one that decides on our fate. They're blessing the one that decides on our fate. Decreeing, let's say. Authoritative, yes. This was something that for young males that passed through.
the wife.
So you can look around, see if you find things that you identify here. These are the signs of heaven, which would be the signs of sea on the left. And then the hand.
No, he's very good. This is the wife.
This is him. אתם יכולים לקרוא את זה, זה מאוד פשוט ומרגש. המצבה שאתם רואים שם, הגבוהה, זה אוניית מעפילים מאירופה שעצרה ברודוס על קו האש וטבח, ויש אנשים אשכנזים שניסו ושמו להם את המצבה פה בבית קברות. The grave that you see over there, the tall one, is the, what do you call it in English? Where to put? And the one that's over there with the Magen David on the top was a
illegal immigrants.
An illegal immigration ship that came from Eastern Europe, landed in Rhodes, and after leaving memorial to stone for them. Now I will show you the graves of, and I hope I didn't make a mistake, of Musani and Morrie Capeluto. This is the gravestone of Rachel Eshet Musani Capeluto. This is the gravestone of Musani Capeluto ben Chaim. This is the gravestone of Yaakov, one of the children of Musani and Rochelle. He was killed by his teacher in school, hitting him on the head with a ruler.
When was that?
Morrie, you're talking about
What year?
I was young, but the name has to be Vital.
Vital is Chaim.
21 years. Huh? 21 years before they died.
I'm trying to verify this. Where did they get them? Where did they get it? Who was Chaim?
Chaim?
Yeah.
So Chaim come from, we saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the gravestone of
Yeah, their grandfather, not the father.
Their
I'm
son
trying to verify.
was killed by his teacher.
Now, what month is it?
56.
What?
The date on Musani died in 1934 or 5, it's 5695.
I'm trying to verify if this is the grave.
Okay, what's the year there?
The year is correct. Okay, the year is correct. But the only thing I'm in doubt is Ben Chaim. Okay, I'm trying to verify that.
That's true.
Before I say, well, this is...
וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שבאמת וקדושה דריבו ואלה מכל ברכתה שירתה תשפך חדה נחמתה תעלה ועלמה ויברו אמן יש רמה במשיח חיים ושבע וישועה ונחמה ושזכה ורפואה וגאולה וסליחה וכפרה ורחמתה לנו כל עמו ישראל ויברו אמן עושה שלום בגרומיו וברחמיו. Susan, there's no stone on this one? There's one.
That's it in the meantime.
There's one more down from the part of Becky and Sarah.
Yeah, there is one more generation.
One more generation.
Yeah, because apparently they married earlier or something down the line.
Well, it was Bechora. The eldest daughter.
Oh, that's right.
Musani Rachel, Bechora. So that you have an extra.
Yeah, we have 7 generations that we know. The problem with mine had a square back and what is around. No, I sent it downstairs in the hotel. They put it way down in the bottom.
אני לא חשוב נגיד שזה אפילו שלא רואים את הכל נגיד.
לא, אל תגידי. רגע, תשאלו במקום. תראי, 1.5. ומשם 1.5, אי אפשר.
אין בעיה. אם תעמוד...
Before, you know, over here, and we conceal our suffering. You didn't show me the panorama. Yeah. You see it at the funeral, everybody's smiling. You see it in the hall.
Wow. She doesn't know. Because, Rhodes and Court.
Yeah, together. Oh, here's some names.
Okay.
Just a minute, there's some names here.
Some names. The fun, oh.
Voilà, si tu veux faire une petite prière.
Oui.
Victor.
Ok.
Viens, on va ici.
Oh, les hommes.
Franco, there's Franco up there. What was your mother's maiden name? Capeluto. Capeluto, but with an O-U.
Yeah, they spelled it differently, you know?
Okay.
Sumani, Tarika.
They spell it different, they spell it now.
It's, yes.
That's why it's influenced.
Sansol, Sansino.
This is another island where there were some Jews, you know, brutally annihilated by the murderers, Nazi murderers in the camps of concentration camps of Germany, 1944-45. May their soul rest.
Your grandfather and memories her aunts and uncles.
Her cousins were here a few weeks ago.
Born here and then deported and died.
Alors, ça c'est quoi? À la mémoire de notre chère mère Sarah Melech Franco, déportée à Auschwitz le 16 août 1944, et de nos chers frères Isaac et sœur Graziella morts en Afrique, ses enfants et frères, Chaim, Moshe, Assouline, Miriam.
Morrie Assouline, he is Morrie Capeluto's grandson. Morrie, so what did you get out of this trip?
Well, I got, first of all, a better appreciation for my family roots and where we come from as a people. And now that when I sit in Azab Sarot, I won't just be sitting in Kahal, but now I'll have a foundation for why we're there, who we came from to be there, and how lucky we are compared to what they had to go through on this island in being there. So that's basically what I'm getting out of it.
Now, yesterday we went to the synagogue, and we were in the synagogue for no more than 5 minutes, and you immediately started leading a service. Tell me how that felt to be in Rhodes in the synagogue where your grandfather prayed, to be up there leading that service.
I'm gonna puke. It felt unbelievable. I mean, I've led in lots of other places, but this was like a tangible memory. In other words, I mean, you go to Israel and pray in synagogues that are 2,000 years old and know that maybe somebody that was related to you was there, but it's nothing like knowing that the people that I grew up with as a little boy when I was just like 5 years old, remembering my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother, and knowing that they were there in that synagogue and maybe even in the seat that I was sitting in before I got up. And to know that my Papu Rahamim even, the Gabai, when I was up there at the Teba, knowing that he might have yelled at me if I had been there or something like that, it was a tremendous feeling.
Thank you. Thank you.
ומניין אפילו חמישה שנאמר בעבודתו על ארץ יסדה ומניין אפילו שלושה שנאמר בקרב אלוהים ישפוט מניין אפילו שניים שנאמר אז ידברו ידעי איש אל רעהו ויקשב אדוני וישמע ומניין אפילו אחד שנאמר בכל המקום אשר
אני מדליקה נר זה לעילוי נשמת אמי בלב
אני מדליק נר זה לעילוי נשמת אשתי רבקה בת חיה
אני מדליק לעילוי נשמת אמי
רחל קפלוטו, רוח
C'est Graziella assez. Ouais, ensemble.
That's good.
Ok, c'est mieux.
No.
Aquí Graziella va a dar para dos. Claire. No.
אני מדליק.
Just repeat what he said.
What am I saying?
אני מדליק.
נר. זה לעילוי נשמת אשתי קלר
Marcelle Barkey. Here, Regina, Graziella and two.
And
help me.
Graziella. Okay, we're here with two.
Yeah, I'm going to do it for a moment. And Dad, she wants me to do it.
אני נר זה לעילוי נשמת אמי לי
Yes, no? No. Where did you used to sit?
I used to sit right here.
Show me. Go sit there. Okay. And Grandpa would sit there with you?
Right next to me.
His grandpa. Or
My
his
grandfather.
Yeah, his father.
Your great-grand... No, my grandfather.
Right, so my great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather.
Actually, I was a little farther up because this bench, the door was there instead of in the middle.
Right,
See?
right.
They must have covered it.
Right.
They must have repaired it.
Right.
This bench was farther, closer to the present, the wall right now. And I used to come here with a fellow by the name of Baron, Pepe Baron, who was the brother of Stella Baron Tarika.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And we used to come here, and we thought that the more times we came here for the same prayer, the better Jews we were. That was our concept there at that time.
And is this where the whole Barkey family sat, or did they sit somewhere else?
My father went with La Grande, which is is presently destroyed.
Okay.
I haven't been there yet. near the school.
Okay.
École de l'Alliance Israelite. I mean, it's a little different. I don't remember, I don't know whether these were here or not, these small pebbles, the designs, but you know, it's been 60 years.
Right, I think they were here. They look like they look like they've been here because they're pretty worn.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't remember.
Unless you had carpets
there were so
over
many
them.
places were the same.
Right.
You know,
And then where would your brother go? Where would Victor go?
Most of us used to go, we come here for a beat, but my brother used to go with my father.
Okay.
To the other synagogue.
And what about Uncle Jack?
Uncle Jack was too small, I don't know. My father used to take him along.
Okay.
Wherever we went. I was jealous of that too.
All right.
We used to take him to all the villages.
Right, that's right.
Also, my uncle, Nissim Levi, the father of Rhodes, Shoshana, used to take him along a lot.
I see.
Anyway, that's where he goes. I'm so glad to be here. I went to the next door to see the museum.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't help crying.
Really? Because of the photos?
Get on it. It's the boy.
How does it smell? How does it smell?
Smells sweet, like the perfumed air of the Mediterranean.
How does it smell, Ofer?
Ofer, how does it smell?
Never.
Oh!
Thanks, that was nice.
Los periódicos de mano, salió Javier. Los periódicos de mano, salió Javier. Al segundo día mi madre no quedó gana de comer. Pensando y pensando, cuando nosotros va a ser. Pensando y pensando, cuando nosotros va a ser.
Oh, tonight we had so much fun. We had my brothers and Yossi and Salvo started singing in Hebrew, Italian, French, Spanish. We had everybody sitting around listening to them. People were walking to the beach and they stopped and they were lining up back there. And then there was a guy sitting in the corner outside. And all of a sudden he comes up and he starts singing loudly. And we just had a ball. We just had a ball. We started out in a small circle. And the circle kept getting larger and larger. More people were coming in. And just singing so loudly. I think people thought we were drunk.
Well, you weren't drunk.
No.
So,
but anyhow, it was a great
You've been to Rhodes before. You were born here.
Yes.
What was it like coming back this time with all the family?
It's hard. It's so hard to describe. We've had so much fun. We were just talking about that, and we thought, how can we tell people how much fun it was? It's impossible. It was such a great feeling. It was just like one big family, 37 of us, and we just never dreamt that it was going to be this wonderful experience with all these different generations and going around to all the places where we used to live and where our aunts lived and telling stories, especially Rick and Morrie, and Jack, telling stories of what had happened to them when they were little and the experiences that they had. And we went to visit where my dad used to work at the Devs and where my brothers worked. And it was just, we went to the synagogue, had a service there, and memory of all the people who are no longer with us. It was just very, very emotional. Very, very wonderful, wonderful experience.
And does it feel like, when you lived here, does it feel like a past life, or does it feel like the same life?
It depended on what part of the city we were in. Part of it is so different. It was, of course, then it was a different life. People just were living in one area, and people just knew one another, and were very close. And so there was one hotel in the area, and not very large, where they had weddings and so on. But now it's just very, very different. But when we were in the old city, in certain streets, yes, it looked like we go back to the old days. And it was just great. Well, Cynthia, you were there, so you know how it was. And we have one more day. We're looking forward to tomorrow, and we're going on a tour. And that will be, I'm sure, just as great as today. But every day just gets better.
Now say one thing, say some Sephardic expression.
Some Sephardic expression.
What do you say? Something that my mother always said. When you said goodbye to someone, something dinero y amor.
Oh, the only thing that counts is salud, dinero y amor. But in this case, we will add the first one, family, tradition, and just togetherness. It's been just great.
Thank you.
So, salud.
Morrie, you've been to Rhodes before, but tell me why this trip here was different.
Oh, there's no comparison, because when Jewel and I were here in the 70s, we came alone, and we were able to distinguish, of course, where the Juderia was and where the Kahal was and the Kayansha, but that was about it. This trip was very unique in that we had the wonderful guidance of our cousins Victor and Morris and Jack and Regina, and they showed us firsthand the places where all of our family lived, the actual homes and the remains of the homes. And we went to the cemetery, which was greatly improved from the way we saw it the first time, where we not only saw the remains of our families, but we had all explained to us by Victor and Morris and the entire family. Let alone the wonderful, of course, the biggest highlight was the way it brought our family so close together. The wonderful experience we had of sharing each other's love and emotions. We cried, we laughed, we sang, we danced. We displayed every emotion in our body. It was a very moving experience. Praying in the synagogue, which we just had such a wonderful, wonderful experience. Something that would be, I think we'd all agree that it was probably one of the most moving experiences in our whole life. The only thing we feel bad about is for those of our family that weren't here, because for one reason or another they couldn't make it. But how we will ever express to them how beautiful this experience was, I don't know, because you had to be here to really appreciate it.
You said something earlier today about the children and not wanting to leave. Tell me that again.
Well, it seems like usually in young people, their attention span and they're wanting to always be moving on to something else. We went into the synagogue, for example, and we prayed mincha. We made some memorials to our dearly departed ones, and where we've been in there at least an hour and a half, maybe more, and it was time to leave, and we couldn't get them out of the synagogue. They wanted to stay there and sing, and we came out, and it was time to move on to the next thing, and they wanted to just stay, and even right now, we're at after 11 o'clock at night, and we're getting ready to retire, and our grandchildren are all outside on the patio here, and they don't want to come in, and they're going over the experiences, the things that we've done all day, and they're together like real family, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Uncle Vic, you've come back to Rhodes, where you were born, but it's different this time because you have with you your daughter and your granddaughter and many members of the family. How does it feel to have the whole family with you here on this trip?
It's wonderful. Unfortunately, my wife is deceased, and the last time we were here was in 1971. And Myrna remembers a lot of things about it. Even myself, at this time, encountered many more details that I remember. And I experienced with assiduity all the various aspects of my life here as a young boy, and I was very joyful in showing my relatives, my close relatives, like all 37 of them, including myself, the various places that we played and lived and ate and spent our time here in Rhodes. It's impossible to describe how glad we were in showing our dear ones here what we did at one time. We tried to evoke those memories and then instill in the young ones the experiences as young people here in Rhodes.
When you left 60 years ago, I know you were a very young man at the time, did you have any idea then or at any other time in your life that you would return to this island with your siblings and the offspring?
Impossible. Initially, when we left Rhodes, I tried to forget everything about Rhodes, and I shut my mind. I didn't want to remember anything because it was too nostalgic. But then you come to realize life has to go on, and you have to share with your relatives, your dear ones, your children, and so forth, what you did. And how else are you going to do it unless you evoke those memories, unless you remember the details, the sadness and the joy, all the phases of life in the island.
How did it feel walking through the streets at this time with your twin brother, Morrie, the one that you used to do so much with here?
You know, we've experienced things together, and I almost remember things. For example, where we played, the exact spot where we play marbles today, and then in the other games too, where we spend how we spend our time, what the things that we did, the little things and not so good that we did also as young children. We were little brats. And we went through all those experiences related to our relatives, what happened to us. And it was, it's indescribable, the emotion that is within us. And we're
we're here like a one single unit, not various individuals, not 37 of us, but a whole mishpacha.
Uncle Jack, you were here last year, your first time back to Rhodes, but you came back again this year. How was it coming back to this island with all your family members?
Well, it was a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect that we were all so not only energetic, but jubilant, and so happy to go along with the agenda. It was really nice.
Did you ever expect to return to Rhodes with your brothers and your sister?
I'm not too sure, Brittany. I'll have to wait to see.
No, did you not come back again, but did you ever think you would come back? When you left the island, did you ever think you'd be back here with the rest of your family?
No, I wasn't really interested. It just happened that all of a sudden I decided to come. But I consider the United States my home, and I do all the traveling there in Alaska and Canada, and I didn't feel that I had lost anything here. But I probably would come back myself.
And what was the most memorable part of this trip for you?
I think seeing all the relatives come together from all parts, and everybody being excited about being together, and not just glad to see each other.
And these are not relatives who live together or relatives who even socialize together all the time, are they?
No.
Where do these relatives come from?
Well, some of them come from Israel, some of them from Brussels, some of them from Baltimore, from Seattle, from LA, and that's about it, from all over the world. And there were a few more that could have made it, except something came out of it. But we would have had some from Japan and California, more, but perhaps the next time.
Great. Uncle Morrie,
yeah.
This is your first time back to Rhodes since you left the island 60 years ago.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be back here and to see everything that you've seen for the last 2 days?
Well, first of all, there are a lot of changes. There's so many hotels and tourists. It seems to me that the tourists outnumber the Greeks nowadays. And I had the pleasure of guiding all my cousins and their offsprings through streets that I knew and I recognized, and they really brought back fond memories of my childhood. It was a moment of reflection, a moment where I thought of all the departed, those who were exterminated, and it brought tears to my eyes.
Did you ever think that you would bring your children to this island?
That's the best thing I could do. And not only because I was showing them my roots, and also to let them get close to their second cousins. Morrie Capeluto used this proper word, which is bonding, renewing the relationship or starting new relationships between cousins who live far apart, who have never seen each other, who will continue their bonding, because in the United States and elsewhere, once you are removed from this the second generation, let's say, everybody goes his own way, and they say, well, I'm not concerned with them. I'm not. They are nothing to me. But in Rhodes, as you know, even the third or fourth generation, still they consider them as cousins. So this, to me, was the best thing I could do for my children. And I'm sorry that my wife wasn't here. I hope to come back. And I hope we get a bigger group this time. We have 37. And I hope all the cousins from Okinawa, San Francisco, San Jose, and elsewhere can come and join us in our next group.